Weird. I'm back, right? Very strange. Okay, here we go. So this photograph that obviously was turned into like a little meme, that was on a family Facebook page. And I had told y'all the other day, we had that other picture of a younger Jack with a black eye. And so I had said, that I found this other photo of him when he was much younger, and again, black eyes. So that doesn't necessarily that doesn't mean that he's a victim of abuse. There are some kids, they just are rough and tumble. They're just highly impulsive. They high energy. They don't recognize danger, or they run head first, into it because they kind of like the excitement and whatnot. So there's just some kids like that. They have lots of broken arms and legs, and they're very athletic. And um, so I don't know. I just found it interesting that the couple of pictures that we have from being in childhood, he's bruised. So that's a certain type of activity level as a personality feature, right? Okay, so we're gonna try to chill here for just a minute. I'll greet everybody. This is a little bit different video than what I did earlier. Hi, Diane, I'm back. Hello. Makeup with Jackie, welcome. Hey, Yogi. Scarlett, my dear. Scarlett, my dear Scarlett. Okay. Hey, Pam Frenchman, welcome. All right, so I don't know. I had all kinds of ideas about what I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna do the food truck video. I just feel really regretful about this. I don't like, I avoided the Summer Wells case like the plague, right? I mean, everybody just went crazy, and it was just all that they talked about, just days and hours and minutes, just nonstop. And, I just didn't want that. Hey, Bling, welcome. I just didn't want that, Be Real says cleared. Haha. I know, but many take it it has done deal when person cleared before crime is solved. It's a bit confusing, Be Real. How do you clear someone within, what was it? It was really about 30 hours. How do you clear someone when you don't have any information? So how in the world are you clearing someone? It's odd. I don't know. But that's what they claim. So I'm gonna keep it factual here. From the beginning, and still I believe Hoodie Jack did. Well, there's a lot of people think that there's some curiosity there. So here's the problem, okay? And this is one of the problems why I try to avoid these immersive, only focusing on one case. I try to avoid that because you develop a depth of knowledge you begin to feel like dependent on how deep you can go into some of these families because of the way that the internet is and databases and whatnot. But depending on how far you're willing to look, how deep you're willing to go, you can develop this level of background knowledge that makes it almost seem like you know these people. And of course, we don't, not at all. Um, but in this particular case, I was listening to a little podcast, and as I was listening to it, there were so many things that were being said that were factually incorrect, right? Like somehow this guy was saying that the driver of the food truck, that he was a person of interest that drove to Boise. I was like, no, oh my gosh, that got so confused. No, you're totally confused. John Jack Showalter, hoodie guy, is the guy who was standing at the food truck. The food truck didn't do anything. Employees at the food truck, nothing. It is the two guys, Joe Vido and Jack Showalter, that were at the corner bar, at the same bar, the same night with Maddie and Kaylee. And at that same bar, that same night, Jack Showalter was told to leave the bar because he was being creepy with some girls. We don't know if it was Kaylee and Maddie, but we do know that he was in fact asked to leave. And so then when they come walking up to the truck, to the food area, it's quite odd that Jack Showalter is walking with them and his body language is controlling. Then it is Jack Showalter that the girls ditch him at the food truck, and then he takes off walking completely in the opposite direction. However, his apartment, you can look through his window and see the girl's house. He can look into the windows of Maddie or not Maddie, but Kaylee's bedroom, and then Xana and whomever that other roommate was. He went back to his apartment, which was right across the street. Literally, there's a dumpster and then there's the house. He supposedly got into his car and drove to Boise, about a 5.5, 6 hour drive. That morning, he left the food truck. He went to the apartment that was right across the street from Kaylee's house. He got in a car. He made a 6 hour drive to his parents' house in Boise, Idaho. And apparently now they're saying that they went to Africa. It is not unbelievable that they went to Africa, however, because now we know that he has family members that are actually from South Africa, and the family owns land and some businesses and stuff there. So they go there to see family and go hunting, and it's part of their normal lives. That's who Hoodie Guy is. And the person, that's who Hoodie Guy is. Now, when they talk about food truck guy, they're not talking about the driver of the food truck. They're talking about the college student. And this same college student who is seen on camera with his body controlling Kaylee, who is seen on camera with Maddie telling him to F you, who is seen on camera being ditched an hour before the girls supposedly were slaughtered, who goes to his apartment that's across the street from the girl's house, who drives 6 hours to his parents' house in Boise, Idaho at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, who gets on an airplane and it supposedly goes to Africa. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know he has family members in South Africa. That same guy has been kicked out of his fraternity for anger problems. This is who law enforcement cleared within a day or so. And that is why people lack confidence in what's happening in Idaho. That's my opinion, okay? I'm stating my opinion. Did I get any of that wrong, people? It is a long drive. It's hey, Chris McDonough was filming at the house and saw a black leather looking glove. Yeah, I saw that. Well, yeah. So his alibi is given by the parents, and the parents are very, very well respected people, pillars of the community, a worldwide outreach and medicine. I mean, yeah, the kind of people that when they make a statement, most people are going to believe them. Well, we don't. So just a sub, I think that might be incorrect information. I know that was coming around. I did try then to find out if there was anything concrete about it. I think it may be wrong. And the thing that makes me think that may be incorrect is because the coyote, the animal carcasses, all of that happened toward the end of 2017, right? Now there could have been more. It could have been more that have happened. We do know Buddy, that happened in October, the very end of October. And that was less than 3 miles from the house. So there are still animal mutilations, that are happening in the area. But I do know that some of the, like the dead coyote and such, that was attributed to a 2017 police report. So that seems like they may not be, unless it's the same guy and he's just ramping up. But I still find that hard. I don't think that's related. Yeah. His uncle is a state attorney general. The family has, there are notable people throughout multi-generations in the family. They're a really stable, they're an Idaho fixture. There's also family members in Florida, but they're a good stable. They're good people. They provide a lot of medical care to lower income children. No, there's no reason to pursue the parents. There's no reason to pursue the family. Everything's, there's no other person in the family that appears to have some, legal trouble or anything like that. The brother was this like quarterback, like college level quarterback. And there's highly successful people, stable people, no kind of legal entanglements. It doesn't seems like everything is on the up and up. But you cannot ignore that their son is erratic. He's been kicked out of his fraternity. Do you know what it takes to get kicked out of a fraternity? You got to be really bad for the fraternity boys to grab their smelling salts. Okay. It's not easy to upset those guys. So, he legit was asked to leave the fraternity. Lots of photographs, the bruising and whatnot. He is a big hunter. We do see K-bar knives as he's field dressing. I think, what was it, an elk or maybe a reindeer? And you can see the knives there, and he's bloody and, doing what you do when you're a hunter. We're gonna watch the recording. The recording that Kaylee Goncalvez's sister found. Hey, welcome, Common the Chaos. Oh, we need you here, my friend. My goodness, the chaos has been unspeakable. Hey, Big Ups. How are you doing? You hanging in there? Yeah. I think there's probably definitely an attorney on retainer. I think there's no doubt about that. All right. Unless the family lie on his alibi, how can he be rolled out so quickly? Welcome, Ruby. Hey, Tommy. Well, we don't know that the family lied. He legitimately could have hopped in the car and left at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, take 30, 45 minutes to stop along the way and get cleaned up. Depends on what time he arrived home. And we don't know that information. Like there's no way to know that. But it is certainly it's very odd that he was cleared so quickly. It's very, very odd to me. And I am not law enforcement. I am not. Y'all know I am a psychologist. I am not a law enforcement person. All right. All right. I am using the recording that is on Plunder's channel. And if you guys have not been to Plunder's channel, you should go because she's wonderful. All right. So this is the recording from that night. There's a couple of things right off the bat. So this kid right here in the football jersey, he sees Maddie. They have big hugs. They have a couple of moments where they kind of come together and talk. It feels very comfortable. It feels very relaxed, very friendly, no kind of weirdness, right? Even the girls' interactions with the cooks, these guys here, this guy up here with the beard is doing, like the cash register. Even the interactions with these guys is perfectly comfortable. This guy in the rust-colored sweater and the hat, apparently he's new in town. He's there with the big guy here, Joe Vido. Again, feels very normal, very relaxed. And then you have Joe, this large, strong-looking man here. And he's also these are two cameras at the same time from different angles. So here's Joe and here's Joe. And so we're going to look at these, and I'm going to warn you, I'm going to be stopping it and backing it up and doing all that. I know you guys have seen these. This isn't going to be the first time that you've seen them. I want to go through it and give my 2 cents because I want to kind of support my position that I haven't been able to resolve that what went on between Kaylee and Joe and Jack, that it was normal. I just don't feel that it was. It feels very uncomfortable to me. All right, so I'm going to slow down to do this first part. I'm going to slow it down. Ooh, that's loud. Sorry about that. I hate that sound when it's so slowed down. Okay, so here they are right here in this top corner. Here's the first time that we really see them. Okay, so they're coming right in behind. This girl in the white jacket, she's with this guy, right? So I want you looking back behind them to see. You're going to see Kaylee and Jack, and then Maddie is coming in behind them. And then we're going to rewind to see what Joe does as they come in onto this stage here. Okay, so Kaylee, this is Kaylee. She's pretty far out. He is staring right at her, and he's moving his body toward her. She's going to have to walk all the way around here to try to get around him, and he almost looks like he almost is going to trip her. It looks really intimidating to me. And then it does seem like Joe notices them just about immediately. You see this? You see how she's got her shoulder up? She's putting up it's a mental barrier, right? I mean, it's obviously not protecting her, but I notice the whole girl thing. I can see it. She's not going to look at him. She's got her head, the top of her head is tipped toward him. Her face is away in a protective stance. Nuh-uh. She is not happy about whatever's going on here. And Maddie is way back here, which is really uncharacteristic for these two girls. So, what's he up to here? Like, what's he doing? What's he talking about? Is she talking to him? It doesn't look like it. And she's uncomfortable. Also, take note of how much bigger he is than she is. She's a little tiny thing. You see that? This is very strange. And then look at Joe. Joe's not looking at his new friend. He's already zeroed in on whatever's going on over here. And then Maddie comes right up and gets right next to her. Joe has not taken his eyes off of them. See him looking? And then he looks over there at Jack, and Jack gets his, puts his hat on right and then pulls his hoodie up. It's the strangest thing. I just, so odd. Look at him. Look, what? Why does he do that? Why does he keep looking back here and then here? And remember, he didn't tell us that he was at the bar with Jack. I'm talking about like the first time or two that he did an interview. Somebody told me the other day that he has since come out and said, oh, yeah, we were talking at the bar or whatever. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But for him to be so close to Kaylee, for him to be so zeroed in on her, Maddie goes back and forth, back and forth. He never moves. He's zeroed in on Kaylee. When Kaylee begins to move, he responds in a mirror fashion, right? So there's no doubt his interest is Kaylee. Maddie could just as well not be there. He doesn't care about that. But she is not speaking to him. She is not looking at him. She is not answering him. I think he's a stalker. You see, Maddie's watching. Now she sees her friend, that guy in the football jersey. She's like, oh, I see you. So she's going to walk over there and get her a hug. She's very intoxicated. You could tell by her gait. And Jack over here, he doesn't move a muscle. He doesn't care where Maddie's going. He doesn't care. Now, you see that Coke? You see that Coke can in Joe's hand? Yeah, that's his alibi. I mean, that's what he said when he was in his truck. That's his alibi, that when he walks into his house, you can see the same Coke can in his hand that you can see on this camera. That's what he said. Now, this is very interesting. This is an interesting part for me. So Joe's watching Maddie, right? And when she's coming, she's got plenty of room to go back behind him, like she has. They're definitely making eye contact. They must be saying something to each other because these two are watching what's happening here. See, you can see him. He said something to her. You could see his mouth move. But she makes the decision to go in front of him. Like you can see when she changes her mind and goes in front of him. He kind of defers to her, steps back. And you can see her kind of stumbling around there. She is very intoxicated. Jack's still got his head down, standing pretty far back. Maddie's looking over there at Jack. That something happened at that bar. I don't have any doubt in my mind watching this. This is Maddie's friend, the one that she, was hugging. They're still showing a lot of interest in Kaylee and Maddie. This looks like a disagreement over here. And Joe's watching. He's watching all the excitement. Now let's watch this interaction here. So strange the way that Joe just kind of goes around to these people he doesn't know. He's much older than they are. Okay, so this is where they begin to move, where Kaylee begins to move. Ah, what's wrong? So you see, Maddie's moved several times. Jack's never moved. He's way back over here, right? But watch the minute that Kaylee begins to move. She takes one step, 2 steps, and he's moving. 2 steps, and he was moving. He waited to make sure that she was moving, and now he's moving. Got his head down. This is him right here. Jack, you're so creepy. Here he is coming into screen right here. All right. Okay, so here's Jack. Here's Maddie's friend. There's Maddie, and there's Kaylee, and now here's Joe. And once again, Joe is watching Jack because they don't know each other, guys. Joe told us he didn't know him. He just met him. Well, except for when they were like at the bar. And I think that Maddie's friend here is sort of having an exchange with Joe as well. I think there's something else going. It's almost like this is Friday wild speculation. Friday wild speculation, okay? It's almost like Maddie, that this guy thought Maddie was going to be with him, and that Jack thought Kaylee was going to go with him. So Maddie's over here hugging on this guy, and now Joe's kind of like walking over. Is he exerting pressure? I don't know. This kid here is no doubt watching this older guy going, hey dude, what the hell are you here for? Where everybody's like 20 years younger than, well, maybe not 20 years, but everybody's much younger than you. Why are you an old guy hanging out with a bunch of college kids? And Maddie is watching Jack creep up because Kaylee has kept her head down the whole time. I think she was in protection mode. Still, there's no kind of welcoming Jack. There's no kind of, yes, you're with us, Jack. There's nothing. And don't you dare tell me that Joe is not lurking. Come on. It makes me feel foolish. It makes me feel foolish when I'm watching this. I have eyes. I understand people. What do you think he's doing there? I want you to take a look at what you're seeing right here. You've got Maddie and Kaylee right in the middle, and they're not laughing and yucking it up and joking and partying. They're very subdued, and they're quiet. Kaylee's focused on something on her phone. She's communicating with someone or something on the phone. Maddie's just kind of checking in every now and then, looking up at either Joe or Jack. Jack is on one side, Joe is on the other side. It's like damn velociraptors positioning themselves like a pack of wild dogs getting in position for whatever it is that they're going to do. This looks predatory. Calm in the chaos. Tell me what you're thinking. Joe said he was waiting for his mac and cheese. But look at that dynamic that's happening right there, calming the chaos. Denise said, oh, maybe. Joe not even drinking. He's very aware. Yeah, no drinking for Joe. He made it very clear. Are we sure that Joe is married? I know he said that he has a little girl. Well, I think he said a child. I don't know if he said a boy or girl. Oh yeah, he's lurking and he's watching, Blue Bella. He's keeping his eye on Jack, and he's keeping his eye on Maddie. And I agree, Be Real. He's a really handsome guy. No, I totally agree. And he is a big boy. Yes, he's a big boy. All right. So you get my point about, if this was I hate when I do that. If this was, wild animal kingdom, we know the predators. We see them. We see the hunters and the hunted. It's pretty clear, right? So let's keep watching them, because remember, Joe said he and Jack don't know each other. First time they ever met was right here that night, right this moment. Come on. I don't know why my computer screen's not playing. Still looking. He is definitely turning. All right. Got something to show you right here. Okay, so here's Kaylee. Jack's on the move. She's going to stand. She's going to be right here in this corner. Sometimes we can't even really see her very well, but that's okay because the point will be made. This is Maddie's blonde head. This is Kaylee. Jack is lurking like 7 feet behind them. They're powwowing. They're having some, deep discussion about something. Kaylee seems very disturbed. Now here comes old Creeper Joe. Let's watch old Joe, see what's about to happen here. Gosh, Joe, you sure are mighty close. Watch Kaylee. Look how big that dude is. Okay, Maddie's almost like positioning. You see that? You see Maddie positioning? Oh my gosh, it's so disturbing to watch. See, she's going to turn around now. She's going to look at Joe. She moved to protect. Look, she moved to protect Kaylee, to put a buffer between Kaylee and Joe. They are whispering. They're not playing. They're not having fun. They're not joking. They've got a problem. Now look at Joe staring at Maddie. And he keeps looking back at Jack, I think. Look how close he gets to Kaylee. Keep watching. It does get kind of boring here, but I want you to be able to see what Kaylee's face looks like. Okay, watch her. She looks up. I believe Joe's heading back. No, that's her friend. There was a girl that came up. Yeah, there was a girl that came up and hugged her. Jack kind of walks away when that girl shows up. Okay, look. Watch Kaylee's face. There's Joe. Watch Kaylee's face. Does that look like a happy girl to you? Does that look like a happy girl to anybody? Look at the look on his face. He's looking at her. What do you think about the look on her face? And yet the police cleared these guys within a day. Within a day. Joe himself said that his alibi was that Coke can in his hand. Yeah, the same Coke can that you see in his hand here at the truck, you can see it on his own camera that he has at his house. When he comes home to his own house, he's got the same can of Coke in his hand. This is one of the reasons why it's so hard to follow these cases, because you see moments like this and you just think, my God, what's wrong with law enforcement? So this is before it happens. He's positioning. Watch. She's looking down, like almost at his feet, keeping the top of her head tilted towards him before finally looking up. And when he's looking right at her, and you can see it, she looks really disturbed. Come on. I'm gonna read the chat, see what y'all's comments are, because when I saw this, I got a sick stomach. I felt nauseated when I saw it. Hey, feisty redhead, welcome. Law enforcement never looked at this frame by frame. Keep your doors locked, Red. Yep. The powers that be are moving. Cleared like Moab cleared. Exactly like Moab cleared. Yeah. Hey, Black Rose, welcome. It is crazy. It's frightening, isn't it? Well, you know what? If you're in Idaho, apparently a can of Coke is a great alibi. It's enough to clear a guy. Is hoodie guy pacing while waiting for Kaylee to walk away from the food truck window? I think so, Liva Cats. But he never talks to her. He never does come up to her, say anything to her. No, nothing. Never. Joe is a bit different. Joe is sort of using his mask to move into their private personal space. She looks freaked out and disgusted. I think she looks terrified. Repulsed maybe, but I think she's scared. I think she looks frightened. And Calming says, what the actual F? Very creepy. Sweater guy is special. I don't agree. The intoxicated had their defenses down. Joe called Maddie, ooh, but can't keep away from them. Yeah, I don't think he said ooh, Ruby. I don't. I think that's big talk after. You know what I mean? Does this look like a man who's thinking, ooh? Why is Joe so concerned about what everyone else is wearing? I don't know, Elizabeth. It's a curious situation. I still cannot figure why Joe is so bothered about drunk people given the places he hangs out. Well, if you're going to go to the corner bar, which is actually a rather famous watering hole in Moscow, or even, I mean, a lot of people in Idaho know the place. They go there after football games and such, even the traveling team. They say like they have 9 televisions for watching sports, and it's a college establishment. Um, and why would he go there if he was having a problem with drunk people? That's where you're going to find drunk people, is at a bar, Joe. That's just the way it is. And you are now at a food truck after all the bars have closed down. So who do you think is going to be at the food truck? Drunk people wanting food, people with the munchies, right? And so you say, ooh, but when you slow this down and go frame by frame so you can kind of look at the actual pattern of behavior, it doesn't look like you're thinking, ooh. It looks like one of these girls is really uncomfortable around you, and the other girl seems like she is intentionally provoking you. Maybe Maddie is angry because you are intimidating her best friend. Look at her face. Just terrible. I got my computer stuck again. Come on. All right, let's see what happens now. See how she kept it? See how she kept her eye on him? Start back there again. Just watch her, don't watch Joe. Just watch how long she's looking at him and the intensity of the look on her face. She is scared. She is not happy. She's scared. Look at her. She's looking at him, still following. Look, still following him. Oh, that was despise. She despises him. What in the world went on between these two at the bar? Watch. She looks right at him. She even moves a little bit to keep eye contact. I mean, she is giving him the biggest go to hell look. And she's not amused. She doesn't turn back to her friend and giggle and laugh. She is serious. And look at old creepster here. He's still trying to kind of get over there. Now this guy's, kind of moved into the scene. Joe's showing his can of Coke. He says, you see this? I got my alibi right here, guys. Everybody see my alibi? Now, you got Joe here. There's Kaylee, her poor head still bent down over the phone like it was the whole time, like she was hiding. And there's creepy Joe. I mean, not Joe, Jack. Still hovering. Hasn't moved. Kaylee's still not laughing and having fun. She still looks very, very worried. Jack's still standing around in the back like a creeper with his head down, not talking to anybody. Maddie is so intoxicated, she's decided to lean up against the truck. So she's over here leaned against the truck, but she's also really close to her friend. Maybe that just made her feel better. I don't know. But she is leaned against the truck. I think she's just room maybe spinning a little bit, right? Jack's still standing there. Nobody's talking to him. Big fraternity boy, Delta Tau Delta, no friends. That was very strange, Jack. Isn't that the point of joining a fraternity, to get instant friends? And even though Kaylee's standing right there by herself, he doesn't say a word to her. He doesn't say a word to her. Joe's looking at Jack. They start talking to each other. Look. Says, see my alibi? Look, Jack, I got my alibi right here. Ha ha ha. So funny. Kaylee right in between the two of them. Maddie walking over to Kaylee. Joe's really watching Maddie. See how far up Jack came when Kaylee moved? He came right up on her. This is so bizarre. Watch. See, Maddie's pulling Kaylee toward her, and look how far he comes up on her. Why? Why? Maddie's saying, come over here with me. Come stand over here with me. Joe's watching her. Jake's watching. Kaylee's right in the middle like a sitting duck. Maddie's saying, come on. See her hand? She's pulling her. Now, when she begins to pull Kaylee over to the truck, watch what Jake does. Why? Where's she going to go? And Joe's watching. Now Joe's going to walk over and I guess be friends to the man that he's never spoken to before. Never friends, never known. We don't know each other, right? Me and you, Jack, we don't know each other, do we? Have I showed you my alibi, Jake? Hey, remember me? No, because we've never met before, remember? Yeah, I never met you before, dude. Everything's great. Yeah, so if you're on ecstasy, that can help you tolerate the cold really easily. Now, Maddie's watching. This is where they have their exchange. Maddie's about to have words. And Kaylee never looks up. Kaylee's so uncomfortable. I think she was trying to disappear. Like if I don't pay any attention, they'll go away. If I don't make eye contact, if I don't, have any interaction. She's saying, what are we going to do? They won't go away. What are we going to do? So these two guys that have never met before are having more fun than anybody else there within camera range. You notice that? And I mean, they're patting each other on the back and they're laughing and pushing on each other. And they've got like this bromance thing happening, right? But they've never met before, ever, according to Joe. This is they just like struck up a conversation and they were just laughing at the drunk chicks. It's not what it looks like, Joe. Now watch. Here we go. I think this is where she says "F you." See, he's saying something to her. Joe does. Watch. No, no, this is where he points at the menu. Maddie's like, please give me my food. I'm so hungry. Joe's still got his alibi in his hand. She's going, please give us food. It's like they backed away with the crowd of people. You can see Joe. It's the weirdest. If you really stop, you watch it like this, frame by frame, you can see how bizarre the dynamics are. I've heard people say, "Yo, man, they were just two guys cruising for chicks." No, no, this is not cruising for chicks, unless they're just completely got no game. This is stalking. Oh, I think this is where Maddie is about to twist. Is this where she tells him to F you? None of them are talking. They're all really quiet now. Jack's like, I'm invisible. Don't look at me. Nothing to see here. The only one really watching anything is Maddie, and she's watching them like a hawk. Very strange. Very strange. Maddie kept saying, food. I need my food. I think this is where she tells him, F you, mister. I may have fast forwarded through it. Yeah, because is that their food? They're fixing to make the getaway? No, that's somebody else's food. Let's see what Joe's face looks like. He's watching something, isn't he? This can be very tedious, y'all. Yeah, this is where she says, F you, mister. So she sticks her hand out. She says, F you, mister. And you can watch Joe's face. Oh, he leaned out from the camera. You can't see that. They just stopped and stared at her. How did he know just how far to lean out away? But he probably didn't know. It was just, blind luck. But she said, F you, mister. Wow. Weird. Something happened at that bar, y'all. And here's what, whatever it was that happened, the only thing we can think is that, maybe people at the bar have told the cops and they're just working with the prosecutor to get their case in order. But the rest is coming, right? That's all you can think could be happening. This is the strangest video to watch frame by frame, how they're together, but there's absolutely no way they're together. It's almost like a prisoner of war video. So bizarre. Especially the way that Jack stays and moves right along with Kaylee, no matter, what she does. And in some way, Joe kind of saves the day because he seems to distract Jack from, focusing so hard on the girls. So Joe may be the actual hero, for the short term. But he sure does look like he gets upset by the whole "F you, mister." And I think Twitter's kind of divided on, did she say "F you, mister" to Hoodie Boy, or did she say "F you, mister" to Joe? I kind of think she was saying it to Joe only because of the way Hoodie Boy responded. But a lot of people on Twitter say, no, 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 she's actually talking directly to Hoodie Boy. So I don't know. But I will say, the girls were slick in getting out of there. And they obviously, the guy in the truck helped them by giving her their food and saying, y'all get on out of here. Because Hoodie Boy and Joe didn't even recognize they were getting their food. And then remember, Joe walks up to him afterward and says, "Did you really just give them that food?" Almost like he was mad at the people in the truck. Why? Why would he care if they gave him food? And then the guy in the truck said, "Yeah, they needed to get home." So what do you think that alibi is? Do you think that alibi is Coca-Cola, or do you think it's a Dr. Pepper? No. They act like they're kind of being kind of secretive, don't they, when they're talking right there? It does make the video really long to do it this way, but at least you've got time to kind of judge what you're seeing. Just like noticing when Kaylee, was really, really watching Joe really hard, how much disdain she had on her face. And he looked equally as menacing back toward her. They definitely, there was definitely negative energy going on between these four. Um, something I think happened, and maybe there'll be a trial one day. Maybe we'll get to hear, maybe we'll get to hear what really took place. I did work on the photographs of the white Elantra. I gotta. You can see a little bit of an outline of a person, but not really enough to, not really enough to do much. I'll get them. I'm gonna get them uploaded. I guess I'll do it in the morning. I'll get them uploaded, and I'm gonna put them, I think, on my Twitter. But I'll leave a community post when I get them up on the Twitter. Joe's having a good time. They're having a great time making jokes. And the girls are about to make their getaway, and that's where, I believe Hoodie Boy got angry and humiliated. Having their food to watch. See, right there, she's taking a picture of Joe and Jack. Watch how she steps. Okay, look where she starts taking the picture. Watch how she steps. She's making damn sure she's getting them in the picture. Look at that. She totally took their picture. If you believe that Kaylee was taking their photograph, Joe and Hoodie Boy, put a 1. If you think that she was like taking a picture of their food, put a 2. I think she's taking a picture of the guys. The angle's all wrong. Yeah, she totally got it. That's probably she probably took their picture and then see how Maddie walks over there to look at the picture. I think she took the picture and sent it maybe to her dad or her sister or something. Kind of like Libby said, "Oh, is that creeper still there?" Took a picture of Bridge Guy. Yeah, yeah. What are you gonna say then, Hoodie Boy? If your picture's out there with law enforcement, what do you think about it then? Huh? 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 And I think Kaylee is on her phone getting her Uber. They're laughing, going, "We're going to get out of here. We're going to get away from them." Here they go. Now, how long does it take? They're gone, and how long will it take for Jack to realize he's busy telling a story to his good friend, bro man? He goes, "Wait, hey." Now Joe walks away, and then it's like Jack looks around to see if anybody's looking at him, and then he takes off. And there he goes. I have to wonder, maybe he didn't even realize there was a camera on him. He's definitely stalking them, y'all. And I think he waves here. Looks like he waves, maybe says goodbye. Then when he takes off the other direction, it's like he's walking really fast. And to be fair, I think it was really cold too that night, right? But then you have to realize that his going to an apartment where he'll be able to be in his apartment and look out the window and see Kaylee and Maddie's house. And then supposedly at 3 o'clock in the morning, he decides that he better get in his car and drive home to Boise to his mom's house. Does that seem even realistic? That's it. The rest of it is history, people. That's it. And Joe found, went back to his little friends. Um, Interesting. All right, I'm done. So I think the biggest, thank you, Plunder. I think the biggest takeaway for me, I think the biggest takeaway for me is catching Kaylee looking at Joe with so much fear and disdain. And it's being returned, right? Like Joe's looking at her too with a negative, really kind of strained face. They definitely had so is that the reason that Hoodie Boy was asked to leave the bar? Did it have something to do with Maddie and Kaylee? And so maybe Jack was angry with Kaylee and Maddie about the whole bar thing. Later on, now somehow it came out that Joe and Jack were at the bar together when all this was going on. Not that Joe got asked to leave the bar. It was just Jack, is my understanding. Again, it's rumor. I don't know if anybody's been able to verify that. I think the people that I've talked to, the 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 bar owner does not want to give up any footage, any video or audio or anything. He doesn't. It's like something happened. He's admitting that there was definitely an event, but he's not willing to put anything out for the news media. He so is that another way of saying that he's working effectively with law enforcement? Yeah, probably. The prosecutor, they've probably asked him, don't talk about this because we are going to be going to trial. So please be quiet. And then he is, right. So I think I got a really bad feeling in my stomach. Well, I mean, I know I got a bad feeling in my stomach when I saw the look that Kaylee gave to Joe. I think that watching Jack mirror Kaylee's movements, like he was attached to her, but he made absolutely no movement when Maddie was moving about. There's no doubt that Maddie tells one or both of them, "Hey, f you, Mister." Um, it, something something bad was going on. And remember what we looked at the very beginning of this recording is when they first arrive on scene, you can see where Jack is he's using his body mass to be kind of controlling or aggressive toward Kaylee. She has to step really far out and around to get around him. Like he was making, like without speaking, he was making it difficult for her to get over to her friend or over to where you order food. He was kind of like making sure that he was staying right in between her and Maddie.